We're back working on our Cessna 140 today. The job we have today is to install a radio in this dash. This radio will be installed right in here when we're finished. So we'll get some measurements, I'll get the camera set up, and first thing we're going to do is we're going to attach a couple pieces of lightweight angle in here and start building a radio rack. Okay, this bezel varies from the back panel anywhere from a 1/2 inch in this corner, 3/4 of an inch in this corner, to 7/8 of an inch here. So the radio is going to sit not perfectly flush with this bezel, but we'll try to split the difference and make it look the best we can with what we're working with. This is just a thick 16th inch thick aluminum extrusion angle, just some generic stock. You can see I have several holes here in the dash already, so I'm going to try to utilize some of these holes. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to mark my center. Right there's my center of this extrusion. Get a nice pencil mark like that. I'm just going to hold it up here and eyeball it and see if I got some holes. Yep. This hole, and this hole will hit center of this bracket. Mark that, and then I'll label this right with an arrow facing up. Take my radio out of my tray so I don't risk damaging it. Got that hanging up. Right here. That little tab is recessed and it's hitting on that. I should have lifted up where that lip. That recess was hitting right there. So I'm going to get the radio, put it back in the box so it doesn't get damaged. That radio fits pretty tight. So this extrusion here is pretty much going to get the same treatment. Get myself a center mark. This is just to keep me into the flange of this angle so that I don't get too far to the edge. So as long as I have a hole that's roughly in the center where I can see that pencil line through it, we're good to go. this left. I get a couple holes drilled in these and we'll be right back. Okay, I got my angles drilled. I'll cleco these up into place and start getting some measurements of where I want the radio to sit. Alright, I slid the radio in here and got a measurement for where the bezel is going to be. So with doing the math there right quick in my head, I want this outer lip to be an 1/8 inch, extruding an 1/8 inch from this panel. That puts us right there. The problem I run into there is this plane of this panel is right through these attach holes in this rack. So the next option is to slide the tray out a little bit and put these attach angles on the outside here in the interior. And what that will do, the bezel like this that's on this side, that will take the face of this radio and slightly protrude past that bezel, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It'll look just fine. But I had to redo my angles here. Okay, I got these marked. I'm gonna go trim them up. I'll be right back. Okay, so what I got here is the brackets for the radio rack. I got them cleaned up. I got a Scotch-Brite wheel on my grinder that I use to radius these edges and clean these up. While I'm thinking of it, you can head down here at the bottom of these videos. There's a little thumbs up icon. If you could click that for me, I'd really appreciate it. I need all the thumbs up we can get to make these videos worthwhile doing. If we don't get any thumbs up, then there's no circulation and there's just no really point for me to do these videos. So while I'm thinking of it, please go down there. While I'm thinking of it, scroll on down there and give me a thumbs up right now if you could. What I want to show you on these brackets is, originally I had them going on the inside and I drilled them. That wasn't going to work out, so I flipped these brackets to the outside and re-drilled them to work where we need them. The problem with that was there was an extra set of holes in these brackets. Well, there's no sense in throwing this extrusion away and getting a new piece of aluminum and cutting it up. So what I did is just simply drilled this to the new holes where we want it. The third hole from the previous side, actually I cut it off because I shortened it up because these are going to go on the outside. And the other two holes that were left, I just turned them into lightning holes. I just opened it up and chamfered them off and just gave us two nice lightning holes. I did the same thing on the other side. So we didn't waste any material, and our material that we are using is a slight bit lighter in weight. Let me reattach these. I'll show you what we're looking at. farther than that way. Okay, there's the brackets installed temporarily with Clecos. You can see the lightning holes made a nice job. So let me just test fit this. We got a nice fit here. Okay. I'm going to get a couple. I need 6. I'm going to use, I think I drilled these for number 8 screws. I'll double check it. But we need some number 8 screws and some washers and some nuts. I'll go ahead and attach these brackets permanently, remove the Clecos, and I'll start recording again for the next step. And next step, you'll have 6 screws in place instead of these Clecos. All right, it's real cold out. We got the space heaters running, so the audio is going to be pretty poor, but it's too cold out to shut the heaters down, so we'll just have to make do. What I have from the radio shop is I got the tray pre-wired. Really nice job. Everything's wired out. Okay. And if you can see on here, I don't know if it'll focus or not, but it's actually stenciled on the wiring itself which wires went to. And I took and put a tag on there, a little bit bigger so it's easier to read. So the hangers up front here are ready for the radio, and there's an existing hanger in the back from the old the original installation. I'm just going to reuse the back hanger back here to mount the back corner of this tray. I gotta take the faceplate off and engage the little pawl there, suck it in tight. But in a nutshell, that's the radio installed. I'm gonna go ahead and route jacks, get them mounted up here in the dash, and I have a power wire here coming off. This is a radio master right there, and there's a 10 amp fuse, an old school fuse right here, and this is the power wire coming. So let me get this wires all routed. I'm not going to be in the video because I'm going to be in the, I got to climb up in here and I'll be in the way. So let me get this wire harness rooted up here, get the jacks installed, and then turn the recorder back on. You see yesterday I got the headphone jacks in on the co-pilot side with the push and talk in the dash, then on the pilot side, the push and talk in the dash. Got the rest of my wiring harness. I chose to run my wiring harness up here behind the dash. I want to keep it separate from the power wires. This will give me an opportunity to keep radio interference at a minimum. So I'm going to go ahead and get these wires strapped up, get the slack coiled up in place, and we don't really need much audio for that, so let me go ahead and get to it. Alright, the radio is installed. Functional test has been made. Initial setup. Show you in here. This is the co-pilot side. I put the push to talk in the dash. This is the pilot side. I put the push to talk where the old marker beacons used to be. And my wiring harness, you can see it's strapped up there out of the way. So I'll post another video or maybe add a picture at the end of this depending on the timing once I get the instrument panel in here and get the bezels back in place. Thanks for watching. If you take a minute, go down there at the bottom and give me a thumbs up. It helps circulate these videos and makes it worth my while to record them. Okay, we got the dash done. Really pleased with it. You can see the filler plate we put in here. Got the dash back in. You can see I got some more stenciling to do, but that'll come along shortly.